Alrighty folks, we have some approvals for our 2003 Ford Mustang 4.6. We're gonna start with buttoning up the leaks. In the first inspection video on this car and in the complaints, our customer had stated that the power steering has a leak. We found two leaking components on the power steering. The pump is leaking at the shaft and the steering gear is leaking at the bellows boot on the passenger side. The next leak that we had found ended up being an AC compressor leak. There is a shaft seal leak and it's leaking refrigerant. The bottom of this unit is covered in ultraviolet dye, and there's also a secondary leak at that fitting right there. So what we're gonna do in this episode is we're gonna pull off this front accessory drive belt. We're gonna get rid of the belt and toss that away because this belt is starting to fray and come apart. And we're gonna pull the power steering pump. We're gonna pull the AC compressor. We're gonna pop that fitting open and see if we can't re-O-ring it to seal that up. And if we have enough time, we'll start on the power steering rack and pinion. So stay tuned because this is gonna be a very good video. Opening the hood. Here's our brake rotor. There was our brake rotor. All right, let's get right into it. First things first is this belt has to come off. So we're going in with a 3/8 ratchet. We're gonna untension the tensioner, slide that unit off right there, and get our ratchet back. All right, so let's see, we'll pluck this belt out of here. Off the crank, come here. Off the water pump, that's been replaced. Off of that idler pulley down there. And the tensioner and the AC. Come here, all the way, there we go. All right, belt is out. Let us go fetch the AC machine, recover this system, then we'll raise this car up and start taking apart the accessories, including the power steering and compressing unit. Where is my AC machine? Ah, over here. It's far, far away. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep the AC rolling. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, hoses. Machine powering on. Beep. Let's get this thing recovered and disassembled. All right, high side service port right in front of us. Get that guy on. Begin recovering now. There we go. And low side port. I like that sound. Are you recovering yet? Here we go. Okay, while our machine is recovering, let's go ahead and pull the wheels off this thing. This car has splined lug nuts on that. See those capped spline lug nuts? So we're gonna have to use a wheel lock tool to remove those. Now, a lot of customers do not realize that they have these or they have lost them, which is why I keep my own. I have a master set of these things. That way, I don't have to dig through your car to find your wheel lock key. Unclickage. Let's pull these guys off. See that right there? Oh, it's a spline drive? Yeah. Let's get the wheels off. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm dumb. I forgot. I forgot what I was talking about while I was doing it. I like these wheels too. These are nice wheels. Nice and shiny. Very clean look, the 5-spoke. Nothing crazy. I did not mention it yet, but we're also going to be changing out the ball joints, tie rods, and sway bar bushings and links on this particular Mustang. So we're basically doing a front end rebuild and we're fixing some leaks. Let's get that over here. Park you, one more. Okay, the machine says the system is now discharged. Let's disconnect our service hoses and get the machine out of here. And then we'll go, we'll raise this thing up, go down below, and start disassembling components. Let's wrap that right on back up. You and you go right there. All right, Mustang, moving back up. Green subscribe button for the win. Alrighty, let's get down below and I guess we'll start pulling stuff apart. Since the compressor is staring at us in the face and everything's easily accessible, we're gonna pull this guy out first. I do not believe I have all the space needed to get power tools in here, so we'll just do this with some manual wrenches at first. We can power tool the big bolts out later. All right, that is a compressor bolt, or compressor bracket bolt, and there's one more connector right here on this harness. I think that's a crankshaft position sensor connector. Yeah, I'm just gonna pull that off and we'll set this harness aside. Now I've got access to the 3 bolts that bolt the compressor onto the engine block, and then there's 1 bolt up here for that manifold. So that 10 mil on the manifold is kind of recessed a little bit. I'm gonna try to get in there with a lower profile socket, and that's not, nope, it's hitting the exhaust manifold. I got it, check it out. So I have this 10 millimeter spline drive ratcheting wrench. These ones are Matco's, but they're also made by Mountain Tools. I think Mountain makes them for Matco. Anyway, this thing has this offset to it, and that might give me the contact I'm looking for on that bolt up there. Oh yeah. It goes right in. Watch this. Oh, unclick. Ooh, that's tight too. Whoa. Yeah. There we go. Now she's loose. We broke free. The right tool just saved the day. I bet that thing is a bear to get out of there with like just a regular socket or something. Why are we doing that? It's recovered. No! Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. You serious right now? It splooged all the greenness on me. Well, anyway, now that that last little bit of pressure is out of there, let's continue moving on. Let's just get this last bolt out, then the manifold's free, and then we can pull this thing off the block. You know what that was? I found the reserves. That was refrigerant reserves. That's what we were doing. Probably not, but it sounded good, right? Ah! Yeah, let's see if this is gonna come out of there. More. Oh, you know what? I know what that was about. That was a feature. It's built-in thread lubricant. See, now this bolt's coming out a lot easier due to the presence of the oil. So that was actually a design feature of this compressor to help ease removal. That's what that was. Glad we got that figured out. Okay, all right, a little more. Nope, I can't get it to... I was hoping to get the manifold to just come off and slide out because it's slotted on this one side. But I've got to just pull that out all the way. More speed. This would be the most horrible thing to do ever with a regular boxed in wrench or an open-ended wrench. Yeah, no thanks. It'd take like 2 hours to get this bolt out. It's already taking too long with a ratcheting wrench. You know what it was? We had the wrong gear ratio. Let's switch it to a shorter throw wrench. Up the ratio so we can go a little faster. It's like switching gears on your bike. Now we got more top end out of it. All right, there's our fastener. The manifold is free. What is that? A chunk of leaf. I found a leaf. All right. Alrighty, so next up there's the 3 fasteners. There's 1, 2, and 3 that bolt this unit to the block. I'm just gonna crack those loose with a ratchet real quick like, and then we'll spin them out with a power tool. The one on top is the annoying looking one because this sway bar right here is kind of in the way. See that? Anyway, that one's loose. Now that one's loose. Nice unclickages we get out of this thing. I like that aluminum crack. There we go. Let's get that top one pulled out of there. Got a gravity flashlight down. Okay. Hey, look at that. No way. You guys suck at designing stuff. Look at that. Who does this? Who does this? I mean, I'll work around it, but still, it's just one of those things. Next. Ooh, crust-o-matic in there. That's nasty. Okay, last one on the bottom. I'm holding on to the compressor with my left hand over here. Right, she's loose. Just wiggle this thing down some. Come here. Come out. Ha ha ha! Caught that mid-flight. That was awesome. Alright, so now I'm just gonna squeeze this thing down through this little hole right here, and she's out. Let's go ahead and wipe off some of this green nasty. I don't want it dripping all over everything. Get rid of that. Clean that off later. Alright, let's spin this around a little bit and disconnect that this fitting right here that seems to be leaking also. It's covered in UV dye and compressor oil, so we can only assume that there's a leak here at the O-rings in there. So these fittings cannot be disconnected without a tool to release them. There's a spring inside of there, and that spring engages like a lip on this other component here. And when they're pushed together, the spring goes over the lip and kind of retains the thing into place. So we need to walk into there with this release tool and get behind that spring. I think it just went in. We get behind the spring and then we can kind of separate these two components. Get in there, tool. These are not particularly easy to get apart either. Gravity. Things falling on me. Okay. You slide this thing off that bracket. I need to be able to kind of put twists and whatnot into this to get it apart. So I unbolted this muffler from the bracket up top. I think it's coming out. I'm pushing it away with my thumb and rocking it. And I believe it's coming apart. Come on, come on, here we go. Okay, got it, that's apart. So all I need to do here is just re-O-ring this, and that leak should stop. Let's get my tool back. Okie doke, so in order to get these O-rings out, we're just gonna go behind them with a little pocket driver. Pluck them out one at a time. There's 3 of these here. Funny that all 3 ended up leaking eventually. Get rid of that one. And uno más. Come here, last one. Got her. Alrighty, new O-rings coming in, and they've got a self-lubricating modification here. The oil dripping out. Slide these guys on one at a time. Pocket driver really helps. You just don't pry at it. That's 2 and number 3. Come on, there we go. Okay, 3 new O-rings on that leaky fitting. So now this thing can get plugged back in. Oh, here's the spring inside. I didn't show you that yet. See the little spring right there? That is what retains this fitting to the its mating fitting on the other side, and this one here has the flare. So all I gotta do, wiggle that guy in. It clicked, we're good. I'll hang that back on its bracket. Now we can toss that compressor back in, or the new compressor rather. I have it over on the shelf. There it is. Motorcraft compressor, part number Yankee Charlie Charlie 495. Let's get this guy unboxed, compared to the old one, and then bolted back in. Check it out, pocket screwdriver. Also serves as box openers. It's one of the most universal tools everywhere. Ever. Cannot be flushed. What is this? Many components cannot be flushed, such as dryers, accumulators, and extension valves. Yep. Good thing we're changing this for a leak and not a catastrophic failure. There she is. See, our clutches look the same. Our ribs look the same. Let's see, our mounting surfaces look the same, and I think our ports look the same, sure. They have an integrated seal in the compressor case. All right, that's good. Okay, let's get this thing buttoned up. Alrighty, compressor coming in. I've still got the plug over the service port entrance. That way my oil doesn't dump out. And here's that's the bolt that's kind of captured by the sway bar. We'll put that through the hole, and then we'll line this guy up. Come here. Begin lining up now, like I said. There you go. That's in. Okay, the upper bolt is threaded. Good. That's gonna secure the unit so it can't fall out. And then just below, got two more fasteners going in. There are dowels, like little pins, alignment pins in the compressor that fit into the block, by the way. So it can't become misaligned. There we go, put that up. Oop, slippage. Here, let's get a little bit of manual torque on these just to make sure they stay tight. A little more. There we go. Clickage. Bottom ones next. Not too much. Don't break them off, but you don't want them to vibrate out either. Okay. I need to get this bolt back out that holds in that plug. I kind of captured this manifold in that plug. I can't get it out. The thing is stuck. There we go. And then the same bolt that just came out is going to go in to secure that connection. Gravity. There we go. Now we're all lined up. Good. Let's just spin this guy down and get it tight. All right, I cannot thread it anymore by hand, so let's get the wrench in there. That's the offset ratcheting spline drive again. We'll make this thing tight, and that's a successful install. Almost. Got to put the bracket back on and plug it in, of course. Okay, manifold's tight. Wiring harness is coming down. Right back around the back side, and let's get that crank position sensor plugged back in. The engine won't run without that. We're gonna need that. Plug that guy in right there, and then our compressor plug. Ooh, this one's relocated. Look, it's up here. Get in there. There we go. Okay, the bracket and the bracket bolt. Let's just get that last little detail squared away. Screw that guy in. Very good. All right, let's make it tight. And bracket clicks. Good to go. Okay, the compressor swap is complete. Let's move over to the power steering pump. Now this one, oh, hit you guys. This one might be a little messier because there's fluid to be spilled. We have a new pump with a new pulley. It's in the box behind me. So what we need to do here is pull that fitting off, this hose right here, and then one bolt here, and then another one hiding out in the back somewhere. Once those three are out, same procedure, the thing will fall right out. All right, let's get after this hose fitting right here. I need to get a wrench in there behind this pulley to get a hold of that. I'm a little concerned because there's a possibility that I could hit this thing. So I'm gonna remove this connector for the oil pressure sender. Try to squeeze in this wrench right here. It's an 18 mil. A lot of these you have to remove the pulleys to get to the fittings, but I think I can squeeze this wrench in there. Maybe. Yeah, oh yeah, there we go, it turned. I saw it. I saw it happen. Yepper. It's coming loose. Very good. A couple more turns on this guy. That's a flashlight. A couple more turns here, and I should be able to get it out by hand. Awkward, weird angles. Yeah, it's probably designed to remove, where you have to remove the pulley to get this fitting out, but we worked around that, didn't we? Come out fitting. It's like every time you turn it, you can't put the wrench back in the place where you started from. It just doesn't turn enough. Which is why I'm just kind of doing this at this very odd angle here. I mean, I suppose I could pull the pump out and hang it down some, but I don't know. I'll just do it like this. This is fine. Oh, here we go. Idea. Actual crow's foot wrench. I don't often use these. Fun fact, these are one of the first tools I ever bought. It's a Craftsman set before like Sears went out of business. It's a Craftsman set that I bought in the year 2000. And I remember I paid $21 for the whole set. Yeah, that's a weird thing about tools. Like, if you have a tool for a long, long time, or it's one of your earlier on tools, or even an important one, you'll always remember exactly what you paid for the thing. At least that's how I am. But just with tools, I don't remember anything else. Just hand tools. Weird. Come on, fitting. It's almost out. There we go. We got some fluid flow. Let it ride. Goodbye, power steering fluid. We don't need you. Okay, that fitting's, woohoo, tripping. Fitting's out. Let this drain for a little while, and then we'll unbolt everything. Here, while we're here, let's get at that little hose. That one, that's the hose to the reservoir. I'll just needle nose plier that clamp. No, not that way. Come back. Maximum drainage. There we go. Alrighty, let's see if the 1/4-inch gun will pull these bolts out of here. It either will or it won't. That one comes out. Good. That one. But I don't think I can reach that other one up there. Negative. Oh well, 2 out of 3 is not bad. Alright, I think we're done draining. Let's get those upper bolts. There's actually 4 and not 3. I thought there was 3, but I thought wrong. I found the 4th one hiding out behind that reservoir hose that I just pulled. Yeah, it's back there. Here she comes. There we go, pump coming out. Bolt falling out. Ah, it's leaking on me. No. Come here, pump. How are we gonna do this? We gotta go up and over our sway bar, I think. It's not gonna fit to the bottom. And down and around and through, got her. She's out. Okay, that's our old pump. And I believe our leak was at the shaft seal right back here behind the pulley. So we have a new one in the box. Alrighty, coming in with the new pump here. Let's do a quick comparison. Starting with the bottom, it has both of the little pins that align it. You see them right here and right here. They're on the original one. Here's our port for our reservoir right there. And pulleys are the same. And it looks like the pressure hose is also the same. So this pump is good to go. Let's get this guy installed. Same way it came out. We're gonna go up and around. I'm leaving the plugs in case there's oil in this thing. I don't want to, whoa, drop it. Yeah, if there's oil in it, I don't want to spill it on myself. So I won't. Okay, there's one bolt that's gonna locate it and secure it. Second one as a backup just to make sure. Here we go. Okay. Okay, two more bolts coming in. I'll get the top ones and then we can just button all this stuff back up. Real easy like. That one's in. Okay, bottom fasteners next. All right, let's put some torque on these guys. There we go. That one's good. And, oh, missed that one. Nice. Put our hose back on. Put the clamp back on. Wiggle that in, clamps in the same place on the hose, that's what we like. And now we just have to get the pressure fitting installed, which will require a new gasket. See this little white thing on here? That's the gasket. So I need to get rid of that. Pull this one off and put the new one on. This thing's still leaking fluid out of it. Come here, you thing. Oh, there. Got rid of that. New one's coming in. Slide that right down over this leaking like a sieve kind of fitting business here. It's getting kind of caught up on the threads. This is a job for the pocket screwdriver. It can put pressure in places where my fingers can't. I'm just kind of using this driver to hold it and I'm running it through the threads. See that? I'm just twisting that fitting and using the threads to run this plastic gasket thing on. So now that that's in place, let's get the plug back out of the pump. I left that in. Pull that guy out of there. It also just unthreads. Mirror plug. Here we go. Aha, there was fluid in there. And I spilt like 10 times as much. Okay. Going in with the crow's foot to start these threads because I can't really turn that fitting. Putting pressure on it with my left hand and holding the fitting in alignment. If this isn't started straight, you can get in a situation where you're cross-threaded. See how we're not going in? And I don't want to cross-thread this. There we go. It's starting to bite now. Okay. Threads are engaged. Good. So let's run this down and I'll get her tight, and then this power steering pump will be a success. Gravity. Okay, we're starting to bottom out. It's getting tight. There we go. A couple more turns here with the wrench, and I think we're in good shape. Become tight now, please. I think that's good. Yeah, the fitting's tight. Don't want to go too much. All right, that's good. We're all set here. All right, let's climb out of this dungeon. Let's get rid of this pump. Throw that. I guess we'll throw this in the box. I don't know if it has a core or not, but it's going in the box. Okay. All right, so now we can clearly see there's oil and fluid that has been spilled and dripped everywhere, so we need to clean that out before we move on. Make it all nice and shiny. Goodbye, oil and fluid and power steering and sludge and grime. Hey look, taking the paint off the sealant. Someone put silicone on this power steering gear to make it stop leaking. My brake clean will defeat the RTV. Goodbye, nasty. Oh, this is a different brake clean. This smells like hair salon. Must be the acetone. Get all that out of here. Not what we want. Up, join another! Alright guys, that's 2 out of the 3 leaks have been resolved. The third leak is this bellows boot on this power steering rack. So we're going to go ahead and pull this rack out next. We're going to pull the tie rods off. We're putting new tie rod ends on with the new power steering gear. So this entire assembly is going to be removed right about now. So first place to start, I think, is going to be at the outer tie rods. So we need to pull those cotter pins and unbolt and break free these units right here. Okay, in order to get started, let us lose this cotter pin right here. Pull that guy out. Leverage. Now, I don't intend to show these tie rods any mercy because we're replacing them, so I'm just going to bash them out with a hammer. Yeah, that one's loose. Actually, I changed my mind. I don't have any space to fit a hammer in here, so I actually will use the proper tool, tie rod puller for the win. Send it. Did that slip? Yeah, it did. What is that about? No. Man. Alright, that one doesn't fit. Try again. Okay, I know this puller works because I use it on everything. I'm gonna have to use this guy. Become lined up, please. Gonna have to bend this backing plate some. It'll be alright. I can bend it back. Okay. new battery. Woo! Got it. That was violent. You guys okay? Hope so. Okay, that one's out. Let's go get the other side next. Round 2. Fight. Cotter pins coming out, just like the other side. We will use some friction and leverage here to pry that guy out. Ooh, it's resisting. Yeah, you stood no chance. All right, bolt coming out, nut. Got it. And puller coming in. Let's back it off. And get this thing set up in here. There we go. Right there on the stud. There we go. Right there. Perfect. All right, let's hit it. Let's back up some. That last one was kind of violent. Got it. Okay, let's just push that over, down, and now she's out. Beautimous. Okay, so let's go down below. We'll detach the steering shaft from the steering gear, and then we can pull these bolts out and then pop this gear off. All right, so down here on the back side of the car, under the engine oil pan, we need to get to this bolt right here, which attaches the steering shaft to the steering gear right there. I think I can pull that out with this wobble right here. The 13 mil. It's not gonna do it. Negative Ghost Rider. We need a bigger gun. Okay. Or I'll just break it loose by hand. Yeah, we can do that. You stay there. Here we go. What we'll do is crack it loose with the Wobble 13 extension, and then we can back it out with the electric gun here. Unclick, please. Oh, it's not working. Oh, there we go. Okay, now it's loose now. Switching tools. I cannot reach now. My wobble's wobbled the wrong way. Yeah, that was easy. Got it. All right, a little bit of pry bar action here. That one. And that should finish off the steering shaft area. Everything is a hammer. There we go. Sweet. Okay, let's move around the front over here, and we gotta pull that 21 and that one, and this whole rack should just slide right out. All right, 18 mil coming in. Loud noises. Okay, the stud's turning. I gotta hold it from the back side. So yeah, we got a nut, then the stud. The stud runs all the way through the cross member. Sometimes these studs will just rust out in there and they get stuck, and then the nut just turns and comes off. This one is turning, so I need to hold it from the back. Yeah. Going in with another wobble socket here. Bear with me so I can figure out where this is gonna bolt in. I can't see it. There it is. See that? Now we've got a hold of it. Good. Got it. And I'll push that bolt through, but I'll leave it in the frame. It doesn't need to come out all the way. So that's one side. Same thing over here on this other side. Flashlight down. Just get behind it. Yeah. There we go. Unclick it. That's tight. Okay. That's both of those. Let's go ahead and push that one in. Hammer time. And the rack is free except for the steering lines, which I can't reach because they're up there. Okay, now the rack is unbolted, but there are still 2 power steering lines that run right back over here. I'm wondering, I think I can get those from right here. Yeah, let's take those things out and then this whole unit's gonna come free. Okay, right in here we've got 2 more pressure hoses left over, and once these guys are off, unit is coming out. Let's get these guys loose. Okay, that fitting's out, I think, all the way. Yep, she's coming free. And we're draining some more oil. Come on, I just cleaned all that. Now it's making a mess again. That's not what I wanted to do. That's fine, I'll spray it off more later. And one more fitting out the back. There we go. It's the last one. Live my life a quarter turn at a time. That's all I know. Got it. That's it. It's free. It has achieved freedom. All right. Let's get this unit out of the car and then swapped out with its replacement. It's over there on the floor. It was delivered earlier. Come here. Come out, steering gear. Oh, this side's kind of stuck. Pry bar, everything. Yeah, the bushings are hanging up. Got it. Okay, steering gear is tangled up in its lines. Oh no. One line is stuck between these 2 other lines. That's not good. Come here. It's gonna leak all over me. And there's a bushing over here that needs to go. Get rid of that guy. All right, let's go in here and just kind of wipe this down a little bit. That way our new bushings don't immediately become saturated in grease and oil. So here's our replacement unit. One of the plugs is gone, but no worries. Those are our plugs and ports for the fittings. It's a remanufactured replacement unit, and I believe it meets the specs and fits. So this guy's going in. Let's get our hoses up and out of the way for now. And we'll take this guy. Uh-oh. Put that up there too. It's in the way. It's dangling. Slip this unit right on in. Over those little studs, or big studs rather. Give it a push and a wiggle. Oh, and a wiggle and a push. Get in there. There. And then 2 more bushings. You reach back in there, push that through. Washer and nut. All right, going around the back to get the ratchet on the big bolt. That's in place. Noises. Right, that one's tight. And then one more over here on the other side. On the bolt. Click. Got it. Okay, let's toss the outer tie rods on. We've got new jam nuts and a new outer tie rod to go with. So what I'm gonna do is finger space these threads. So we got 2 fingers, and that's where the jam nut stops. So that's how far down we're gonna run this jam nut, 2 fingers. So it's gonna come down and thread to like that position right there. Begin threading on now. Without the jam nut, you cannot achieve a wheel alignment because the inner tie rod will be able to rotate. See, this is just a ball and socket joint inside of there. And if you just put your outer tie rod on and then set everything and forget it, eventually as you drive, this will turn. It'll either tighten or loosen, and it could eventually unthread completely from the outer tie rod, resulting in a loss of control, and that would be bad. So you always have to have the jam nut to lock in the inner so it cannot rotate once the assembly is installed. So we'll spin this guy on and then set it up through the hole on the steering knuckle. Again, all this stuff is getting aligned. This thing is going to be at the alignment shop at some point once we're finished here. So although that's not accurate, I got it kind of close, but there's no way that's going to fly long term. There we go. Okay, let's take this guy and push it on up through our steering knuckle. See that? Give it a push. Oh. Get up in there. Come on. There she goes. And then we'll toss that castle nut back on. Booyah. So that's one side. Let's go put the other side together real quick like. Okay, again, tie rod, jam nut, 2 fingers of thread. Oh, you know what? I looked over at that ball joint and I had completely forgotten that I'm also putting ball joints on this. So I will not be installing these tie rods on these steering knuckles. That 100% escaped me in the moment. Dang. Anyway, let's get this thing threaded on and in its approximate location. Then we can go ahead and get those hoses reinstalled. Get on there. Yeah, the threads are binding up a little bit. Like they go, then they go, then they kind of catch. Yeah, right there they catch. Right there, yep. No matter. You cross-threaded it. You got me. There, okay, that's good. That's in position. Let's get the hoses on next. All right, we're back underneath. I have the lines already connected. That part was boring, so I just left it out. So now we're sliding that shaft back in, and we'll get our bolt back through the collar. Shaft's not in deep enough. Wiggle it more. There. Okay, that's in. Let's give it some forward clicks here with our little impact. Shaft is on. Okay, let's put a little bit more torque on that guy and this section is good to go. All right. Okay, let's get out from under here. We need to go back up top after we let the car down. We'll get our goodies out and let's refill some fluids and some refrigerant, I think. That was loud. Oh, I need to plug in my oil pressure sending unit. I left that out to drip dry. Let's plug you back in. Sender click. Okay. Moving back up, off the locks, coming down. So while we were under the vehicle earlier, we had an arrival. This component right here is the fuel rail pressure sender. This is the one that I believe it's either got a leak inside or it's not giving the correct fuel pressure, but this was the cause of our lean condition, or our rich codes rather. So we're also gonna get this thing buttoned up and bolted on before we close this video out. So I think what I'll do is we'll get the AC machine reconnected and we can pull that system down into a vacuum since the new compressor's on. While that's happening, we can go over here and change the fuel rail pressure sensor. And at some point in there, if I have a replacement, I do have another belt. We can toss that new belt on, and then, I have no electrons. What has happened here? Well, I got power there. I have power here. I don't have power here. Okay. My machine is broken. Okay, let's switch. Let's just switch our plug to another plug location. Maybe that plug burnt out. Oh no. Here, we'll put it over here where the fan is. I know that one's good. All right, hoses back on and connected. Get on there and become connected. Low side, vacuum. High side, open. Continue vacuuming. 10 minutes, sure, why not? Let's grab our belt. This is funny. I put a Delco belt on a Ford product. Yeah. All right, so while that thing is doing its thing, let's come over here and swap out this fuel pressure sender unit thing right here. One connection, and it's got it's like just 2 bolts. Now there should not be a bunch of fuel pressure in here. It's been sitting overnight. If there is, it'll come out. Pull these guys out of here. Okay, that one's loose. Yeah, I'm wondering if this thing has like a, I mean, it's got to have a vacuum leak inside of it, or, I mean, who knows? I've never seen one do that, but unless my testing was incredibly flawed, I'm pretty sure I proved that that was sort of the culprit here. Let's wiggle this thing out some. I hope it's not holding a boatload of fuel pressure and it sprays everywhere. That could be bad. Don't worry. If it sprays, I'll shield you guys. It's gonna twist and wiggle. What's it gonna do? Come out. All right, we're good. Came right out, no problem. So that's our old unit. That's our new unit. It's 1 2-row rings, okay. And 2 on this one as well. Slip that guy in, no problem. We'll bolt her back down. 1 and 2. That one's in the back right there. I'm really curious to see if this solves that that lean fuel trim problem. I hope it does. Because if it doesn't, I have to start all over again. In which case, I don't know what's wrong with it. And that's a misdiagnosis. It happens. A flawed or incorrect test result, that can lead to a misdiag. Happens all the time. Okay, let's plug our vacuum line back in. Plug our connector back in. Let's toss that belt on real quick while this thing is still vacuuming. All right, belt coming in. Letters facing us, so they're easy to read. I'm weird that way. Let's just kind of get this thing down in position and set up on all the pulleys here. We're gonna go through this fast, and I'm gonna skip some of it, because I mean, it's just a belt, right? It's gonna go down over that ribbed pulley. You can't see, there's a hose in the way. Over the ribbed one, under the smoothed one, over the nadir, back down around the power steering, and it slipped off. There we go, around the power steering. Now this is the part I forgot. So we're going, remember it was all kind of tangled up around that tensioner. I think we go around the crank, over the water pump, and then we're gonna come through that little groove right there. That's right, okay. Pull some more slack out of it, because now this little loop right here has to go down over the compressor. That's about right, and it came off the power steering, no worries, that's good. And I think we're ready to tension. Dipper, all right, ratchet coming in to the tensioner, hook that up. and I'm gonna pull up on our slack part of the belt right here to the right. We're gonna tension, go over the alternator, and then down under that smooth pulley, and that is a successful belt install. Good to go. All right, machine is still evacuating for the AC. Let's go ahead, restart the engine, take a look at the scan tool, and make sure our fuel trims stay where they're supposed to be. So at this point, all the vacuum system is fully connected, even the stuff that goes back to the fuel tank and to the HVAC inside. So theoretically, there should be no other leaks, and that's according to my testing procedure from earlier. So beginning engine starting sequence now. Belt's running good. It sucked up what was already in the reservoir. Let's refill that again. It's gonna scream at us for a little while. There we go. All right, let's check our scan tool here. Let's see what it's got. I don't want to do that. All right, it's pulling up. Go to engine. Go to engine data. Yes. It's running. We're gonna go for fuel. We want fuel, fuel, fuel. Emissions and fuel. Continuing. Show me my fuel trims, please. And we're looking for... Look at that, fuel rail pressure, 39.8. So that's a difference in earlier. Short-term fuel trims, we're hovering around the zeros. Long terms, look at that. -2, -2, -1 on the short terms. All right, let's let this thing run and stabilize for a little while. And while that's happening, we can go ahead and put the charge in this thing. The machine is done, and we're looking for 2 pounds, 2 ounces. That's a lot. So system charge. Begin charging system now, please. Do not save. 2.2 pounds. Your high side charge, and let me turn off the AC switch in there so it doesn't kick the compressor on. If it's already not, oh, it's already off. Okay, we're good. All right, AC machine is charging. Let's do one other cool little trick real fast. Let's see if this thing had a vacuum leak, which is causing our codes, or let's see if it was actually the pressure sensing side. So what I want to do, I'm gonna unplug it. Now watch, we're gonna see a vacuum leak as soon as it's unplugged. See fuel trims, watch them go, go, go. Yep, instant positives because there's a known vacuum leak. So let's plug in the old sensor to the vacuum source and see if it's still leaking. We went negative. So it's not a vacuum leak. It was actually sensing the incorrect fuel pressure. We had a 50 PSI or a 60 PSI reading earlier, and come here, you. And now it's reading, what was it, 40 something? So the fuel pressure was too high. Or rather, the ECM thought that the fuel pressure was too high. Get on there. Okay. Either way, fix the problem. That's good enough for me. Joe? All right, looking down. So far, everything's looking good here. Need to tighten up this little bracket. I don't see anything leaking. Nothing dripping on the ground. Machine is about done with the charge. Let's go ahead and fire up our AC system just to make sure that compressor comes on. More steam. There we go, full speed ahead. I think I heard it. Yep, there are clutches engaged. Okay, the AC clutch is engaged. See it running right there? This is good. Excellent. Yep, fans are on. That's also good. Low side pressure, 40 psi. High side pressure, it's 300, but we're coming down fast because that fan's running. All right, this is all looking really good to my eye so far. Problems have been solved. Power steering noise shut up. Fluid's still full. It's actually a little over. I gotta pull some of that out, so that's good. And our fuel trims are back in line. I'd say this is good to go for right now. So I'm definitely going to have to make another part regarding the repair series of this particular Mustang. I think that's going to be part 3 because I had the diag video, then there was this video, and then there'll be the next one coming up later on for the ball joints and some of the other components that need to be changed out in this car. So having said all that, I'm going to go ahead and close this video out right now. I will do that, as always, by thanking each and every one of you guys for watching this video. Hope you liked this video. I'm assuming that since we're here to the end, you did in fact like this video. If you did like it, please feel free to communicate that to me effectively in the comment section down below. Do not forget to tap that like button while you're down there, and most importantly, have yourselves a fantastic day. See you guys later in a video, in a Mustang, in a AC, in the power steering, in the belt, in the transmission. And the final verdict is at the center vent. Where are we at? So far we're 48 degrees. Yep, she's making cold. We're good to go here. Powering down. Pew.